And this is my channel, Frost and Forest. And so I'm kind of doing an impromptu video here. I was recently watching TarotTube and I saw Robin at Robin's Reflections do the Tarot March Madness tag. And so I got pretty excited. So this was a tag that was started by Libby at Crescent Dreams Tarot. So thank you for starting this really fun tag. I think it's awesome. But essentially, the way that it works, when people are creating their brackets for March Madness, we're gonna create brackets and then kind of have different decks go up head to head. So Libby was saying that you could start with 16 decks. Robin started with 8 decks. I'm gonna say, given my work schedule, 8 decks is more sustainable for me. So that's what I decided to do, is start out with 8 decks. And then essentially you have them, well, I can just give it away and show you what I did here. So essentially you have them in brackets and then you have decks going up against each other. Some different thought that went into, you know, which decks that you chose. And so I decided to have mass market decks as well as indie decks. So this side is going to be indie decks going up against mass market decks. I also decided, you know, I had a lot of trouble thinking about, okay, how should I pick the decks that I'm going to use? I just randomly select them. I wasn't really sure. And so I kind of started out by just randomly picking decks, but then I was getting a lot of my decks that are modern decks. And so then I had the idea of, what if I kind of put all of my modern decks up against each other? This is especially something that I've been thinking about lately, because I sort of feel like I have too many modern tarot decks. And so this is a way for me to kind of compare them while doing something really fun. This video, I am just going to do game 1 and then game 2. And essentially the way it works is when 2 decks go up against each other. So like in this case, the Light Seers and the Fifth Spirit, you have 3 different tests that you do to try to decide who's the winner. The first test is which one is the better shuffler. The second test is which one has the most cards that you like the best. And then if there's a tie, you can do a 3-card spread to kind of give that tiebreaker activity in there. Oh, for the decks that the 8 decks that I am starting out with is going to be the Light Seers Tarot, and that is going to be going up against the Fifth Spirit Tarot. And then on the indie side, I'm going to do the Lighted Window Tarot, and then that's going to go up against the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. What I'm going to be doing throughout the month of March, I'm going to be releasing some videos. So my first category that I have in the mass market category is the Light Seers up against the Fifth Spirit Tarot. The first test is the shuffle. So I apologize for my bad shuffling skills. Might be a tricky one, but I have really small hands, so sometimes I can't get the last little bit of cards in there. And that happens to me a lot, and that just kind of is a part of my process for shuffling. So there's that one. I had to strain a little bit to do it. Next we have the Fifth Spirit. And again, I have really little hands, and both of these are actually kind of a strain. So that is kind of a toughie, because I had a little bit of trouble with both of them. But I think for me, the Fifth Spirit is slightly less thick, and I think I had an easier time with that one. So I'm going to give 1 point to the Fifth Spirit. Okay, so the next test is figuring out the number of cards that you love from this deck. And so I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to go through and pull out the decks, and then I'll kind of walk you through them. So I'm back after looking through these cards, and it was a close one as far as favorite cards. So I'm just going to take you through some of my favorite cards in both these decks. So starting out, we have Fifth Spirit. I love this Three of Wands, you know, starting out on an adventure. I specifically in the Fifth Spirit really like the Wands suit because of the way fire is portrayed. This Moon card is beautiful. This is one of my most favorite strength cards ever. I have worked around reactive dogs before, and just the strength that I know that it can take to get dogs to trust you and be able to work with them, just that's like the meaning of the strength card for me. And I'm not trying to say that all pit bulls are reactive. I've met some amazing pit bulls that are just sweet cuddle bugs. But you know, there are all dogs of all kinds out there who just need a little extra support. So I love this strength card. You know, I like this death card showing different transitions through life. This justice card is good. The sun, a family. Again, there's a dog. And like I said, I like the way that the Wands suit in this deck is portrayed. So these are some of my favorite cards. This Tower card. This, you know, this is like my ideal Ten of Pentacles. Having my own little cottage out in the woods. That would be my dream. This card actually made me think about the Six of Pentacles a little bit differently, and the donation aspect of it. Loving yourself, making a commitment to yourself. I love this card too. Four of Wands is one of my favorite cards, and so this idea of just a safe, warm, cozy house, I like that a lot. Yeah, so this all told, these are some of my favorites. An activism card there, you know, all told, this had 29 cards that I really liked. That's the Fifth Spirit. The Light Seers. This is one of my first tarot decks ever. I like this strength card as well. Maybe not quite as much as the pity, but I still like the idea of the strength inside of you and the lion inside of you. The aces in this deck I particularly like, just what they represent. The Queen of Swords. This deck, I think, evokes a lot of feelings for me. I like the kings too. I'm not usually a king person, but I like the kings in this deck. About the Page, and one, Death. You know, I don't exactly know I like this Death card so much. It might be just kind of nostalgia for this deck that I like it, but this Rest card, this Moon card I especially like as well. The idea that uncertainty can become so overwhelming. This opened that perspective for me on what the moon can mean. Yeah. So yeah, these are some of my favorite cards. I like this Page of Swords, especially the idea of a student and new ideas and learning. So yeah, these are some of my favorite cards from this deck. And all told, there were 31 cards. So that means that Light Seers gets 1 point. Okay, so what we're supposed to do if there is a tie is basically do a 3-card spread. And Libby suggested that we do the same 3-card spread at least for this bracket. I'm going to start with the Fifth Spirit. So this is not going to be a real reading because I'm not entirely comfortable doing real readings on the internet. But So for this, I'm going to do foundation, investment, and balance. So foundation, investment, and then balance. Okay, so the foundation is, you know, working on your craft, working towards something. Investment. Okay, so working towards justice. That seems particularly important right now. And then the balance. Five of Wands. Interesting. So, you know, you might be investing in, you know, putting a lot of energy into creating justice in this world, but also you have to be careful because that can lead to some competition, that can lead to some hurt feelings. People don't always have the best interest at heart, and so making sure you are trying to create the type of environment that you're trying to do while you put time into creating justice. Okay, I see it. And then now we're going to see what the Light Seers has to say. Oops. Okay, interesting. So in this case, the foundation is making a choice of some kind. And I'm not sure if you can see this, so I'm going to do that for now. So foundation is making a choice of some kind. And then investment and balance. So the foundation, being able to make some kind of choice. Investment, a choice to follow, you know, what makes you happy, what fills up your cup, and being able to make that choice. And then balance is the King of Wands. Interesting. And so the King of Wands, I kind of see that as making a choice, being vested in what you believe in, but also, you know, there's maybe something, a broader world beyond that, that, you know, you can also be a leader in as well. So it's not just about you and your feelings and what you want, but it's also what is for the greater good, maybe? I don't know. You know, just looking at these two, I think that the fifth spirit came more clearly to me and just made more sense to me, and just like, I just got it off the bat. So I think for this one, we are going to have another point to the fifth spirit. So fifth spirit tarot, and I hope I didn't just write on my tarot card. Nope, I didn't. So the fifth spirit tarot moves on to the next bracket. To just keep you all guessing, I am going to make game number 2 be one of my indie deck brackets. So I'm going to do the Lighted Window Tarot versus the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. So we shall see. So again, starting out, I am going to try their shuffle. Okay, so starting out, we are going to do the Lighted Window Tarot. So that is kind of a strain on my hands. And I always have these cards left over. So not the easiest shuffle in the world. And then we have the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. Okay. So that one has to go to the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot, because that I could at least get most of. This one I could at least get my hands around easily enough. So I'm going to go with this one. So 1 point for the Cosmic Wisdom. As I said, I'm going to stop the video for a bit and go through and pick out my favorite cards, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, so I am back after picking out my favorite cards from these two decks. And so starting out, I'm going to do the Lighted Window Tarot. So I'm just going to show you some of my favorite cards. I really like the purples in this deck. I like this Wheel of Fortune card. I like how earthy and cozy it feels. I like this Justice card for the same reason. I think that mostly the reason why I really like this deck is just because it is so outdoorsy and it is cozy. Chariot, the idea of going off in a canoe. Yeah. The Devil, looking at yourself in the mirror. What does that bring? That Death card. I really like that Death card. I think, you know, I like the colors in this deck. And the Hierophant, that's one of my favorite Hierophants, because getting your knowledge and your wisdom from nature. This is such a cozy Page of Cups. The Knight of Wands. The Moon card, I really like that Moon card. The Star, yeah, like hope. Just being off in a cabin in the woods. Going on an adventure into the woods. Yeah, I just love this deck. It also kind of has a slight witchy vibe to it, but it's not as overt as some of my other decks. So yeah, those are the cards that I like the best. For the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot, I'll show you some of my favorite cards. I like that Death card, Strength. I love the colors in this deck also. You know, they're a little bit different than the last deck, but they're still very vibrant. Yeah, the idea of just hanging out at a cafe somewhere with the people you love, as the Ten of Pentacles, is great. That Moon. I'm also noticing I tend to like the same cards in multiple decks. The Four of Swords. I love this Four of Swords. It's one of my favorite Four of Swords. The idea that you're out in nature and you're just resting by just hanging out and looking at the Northern Lights. Great. And I think this Sun card is so sweet. A couple on horseback. Yeah. So yeah, this is another great deck, and those were some of my favorite cards from this deck. But so for Cosmic Wisdom, I had 29 cards that I like, and for the Lighted Window, I had 35 cards. So the Lighted Window gets 1 point. Okay, so you know what that means. We're gonna do a 3-card spread. And again, this is, you know, not necessarily a real spread. I'm just, you know, laying down some cards and seeing what I think. And so for this, and this one is a little trickier because it is really pippish, so we'll have to see how that goes on me doing a reading on camera. Okay, so we have Foundation, Investment, and Balance. Okay, so for Foundation, well, now this deck is just being sassy, I think, because I am particularly not a big fan of this Emperor card, because of the feet. No one would chop wood with bare feet. That just, it's dangerous. No one does it. Anyway, so Emperor, control. The Foundation is trying to have control. And then Investment, you know, trying to find truth and trying to control situations so that you can try to figure out what the truth is and what is right, and being very clear about that. And then balance is the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting, but you can't just like go out on this quest. You also have to spend some time investing in what you're doing and investing in the world around you and investing in what you're trying to accomplish. I know these are super basic readings. I'm not used to reading in front of other people, but you know, control, to seek the truth, but also you need to take time to, you know, do the things that you want to focus on. Okay, so now we're going to see what the cosmic wisdom has to say. This is maybe not completely fair to the cosmic wisdom tarot because I really do like the lighted window tarot. This is one of my favorite decks. It's maybe not completely fair, but this is just for fun. So, foundation, investment, and balance. So, for foundation, we have the Six of Swords. So, really, maybe you're trying to just get away from some negativity, trying to get away from some hard thoughts and hard feelings. You know, you are really having some trouble with people, it seems like, and trying to spend some time on your own. And that's really what you're looking for, to try to get away from the negativity. And then balance. Ooh, the Three of Swords is balance. Interesting. But you maybe can't let yourself be controlled about negative thoughts in the past and about complicated feelings. You maybe have to, you know, you can spend some time away by yourself, but eventually you're going to have to face, you know, these negative feelings that you're getting away from. Oh, that is a toughie. That is a toughie. You know, sometimes, I think sometimes the underdog does win. And I have to say, the reading for the cosmic wisdom just made more sense to me. So, you know, again, I did not think that this was going to go this way, but I think I have to give it to the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. So, Cosmic Wisdom. Okay, so in my next video, I will be doing game number 3 and game number 4, and we will see who will be going up against the Fifth Spirit and who will be going up against the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.